Oops, I did it again, y'all. I tuned in to Jim and Frank's Thursday Throwdown.
Hey, Jim, it's Thursday. You know what that means?
It's time for a throwdown.
A throwdown. And how about we go back to the early 80s?
This is very early 80s.
Yeah, yeah. Let's start with 1981. And April Wine, Nature of the Beast. And how about we pit it against the follow up, 1982's Power Play?
Sounds good.
All right. Listening to both these albums, did you find that even though it's the same people basically producing them, they had a different sound?
It did have a different sound.
Yeah.
A little smoother on the second of the two on
Mm,
Power Play.
yeah. I I was looking back. I know I they did a Beatles cover on Power Play,
They did.
and while it's not bad, it's not the Beatles.
I loved it.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you why. I was listening to it and I was all, dang, this song sounds familiar.
Right?
It doesn't sound anything like the Beatles. They totally took it and made it their own.
Right.
And I think they did a really good job of it personally.
It's not the Beatles. It's April Wine, and kind of like we were talking. These are Canadian fellas, right?
Yep.
And like you had said, maybe they're too polite to rock and roll, but they're clean. It's just so smooth sounding to me.
Yeah. And maybe to their detriment on this album on Power Play. Um, my only gripe with that Beatles cover is they changed the melody just a little bit,
Right.
and I don't think it made it better. I think they should have stuck with the melody a little more. But then again, then it would have been maybe a little too Beatles. I don't
Right.
know,
Yeah.
but I thought they did a really good job on it.
Yeah. Um, I think going back, I was going trying to find the cassettes that I wanted to show. I have both these on cassette, and I bought this mainly because of the silly song "If You CK."
Uh,
I love that play on words back then,
right.
and there's been a few other songs with the
That's a
same title.
cover.
Well, there's been other bands that have done the same title, but different versions of,
Right.
you know, and yeah, they were not afraid to do some covers, obviously.
Yes.
So a talented group of guys. From what I was reading, 81's Nature of the Beast was like their resurgence, excuse me, after a first wave of mild success in Canada.
Yeah, I remember reading a interview with Miles Goodwin, who I think has been like the only
He was the mainstay.
constant in the band from the very beginning.
Right.
Nature of the Beast came out, and they were finally getting some kind of American airplay. I mean, they had a little bit with things like "I Like to Rock" and a couple other
Right.
songs, but it was really sporadic. And he was just talking about, I just feel like this band's kind of been like a white elephant. Like we've never been able to break through, and we're finally,
Hmm.
seen success. So the album went platinum. I think it was probably their biggest selling album here.
Yeah,
So a
did good here.
nice little bump for them. I don't know that they ever headlined here.
I always remember seeing them as a support act,
Yeah, seemed like it,
and,
right?
and almost a wide variety of performers as well.
Everybody I know who saw them live said they killed.
Yeah, I'm sure they did. They seemed like they were a finely tuned and tight knit band.
Yeah.
So they're probably one of those bands that could pull it off live.
Well,
Um,
and they had a huge catalog at
Big
that point.
catalog,
That's like their 10th, 11th album, something like that.
right?
Um, so they had a lot to pull from.
Well, Nature of the Beast, they do "Sign of the Gypsy Queen," which was a cover.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Yeah, and that's one of their big,
until I started going back and studying up for this.
and that was a pretty big hit for them.
I
And
I think that was maybe the first one I heard off this album. I don't know if it was the first single, but that it grabbed me and pulled me in.
Mhm. And the other single off that was All Over Town. I love that song.
Great riff.
Yeah. Yeah. And those were the two singles off Nature of the Beast. But when you go back and listen or look at the titles, I'm going through here. Just Between You and Me, huge hit for them. And
Maybe I think as a power ballad, it holds its own against pretty much anything.
pretty much, yeah, exactly.
I was a little sad going back and listening to that. I was like, man, I wish I was still in high school. I'd
Yeah.
get slowed against to that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, Wanna Rock, I got a like almost a Ramones vibe, but yet it had a new wave-ish kind of sound to it as well.
It's slightly quirky.
Hmm.
To me, it was a little too obvious, maybe a little
Right.
bit pandering. Fun on a level, but I don't think it's the quality of the first four songs that we just talked about.
And I think you hit it on the head. It was a fun song. It was almost a throwaway, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. They're not putting a whole lot into it.
Slightly comical.
Yeah, yeah. And I'll go through after that. Future Tense, Big City Girls, Crash and Burn, Bad Boys, One More Time. These songs, there's a couple in there that they're rockers. They really take off.
Crash and Burn was especially rocking.
Hmm.
My problem with Big City Girls is it's lyrically it's a song about prostitution.
Right, right,
I think they were kind of above that. That's not really their vibe. Like in the song Bad Boys.
right.
And this kind of predates sleaze rock.
Well, it does, but it wasn't sleazy in the sense. Again, we're going back to the way they pulled it off. They don't pull it off.
Right. Lyrically, they're on track, but it
Right.
doesn't have, it's not LA Guns.
Right, exactly. There's no sleaze involved with these guys.
Caught in the Crossfire, they added that little kind of laser sound in there. To me, it was overdone.
Yeah.
If they just put it in once, I think it would have been fine. Overall, I think a fairly solid record.
Yeah.
It's a little hit and miss for me, but I think it's a little more hit than miss.
Okay. Now, what about Power Play? To me, this was more miss as far as the stronger songs.
I think the production is a little soft.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because they were following up a hit record. They wanted to maybe pedal to the airplay.
Right.
It's a 1982 sound that I'm not overly fond of.
Exactly.
Enough is Enough, I think, is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Right. And that was a single, and it took off pretty well.
It did okay, but this album didn't chart.
Mm-mm.
Previous album went platinum. Didn't chart at all. Didn't go
Right.
platinum. Didn't go gold here. I mean,
Yeah.
it was like they just fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened. We're only talking a year from Nature of the Beast, too.
It's almost as if the sound waves didn't hit the United States. They just fell flat.
Yeah, probably went like double platinum in Canada, which is like 200,000 or something
Right.
like that. But I think it's got plenty of rock on it.
Mm-hmm.
Anything You Want, You Got It rocked okay. Enough is Enough. Like I said, great song. If You CK, cool play on words,
Right.
but it doesn't really rock. It's a little bit of a softer song.
It is. Yep.
Um,
What if we?
but
fell in love?
lyrically, I think this album is better. I think they're doing better when they're sticking to songs about relationships and
Mhm.
whatever's going on in the news versus doing things like Wanna Rock or
Right.
Big City Girls or whatever. What If We Fall in Love was a nice song. Again, not a hard rocker though.
You know what I noticed about this album as opposed to Nature of the Beast? The songs are just a little bit longer. They were stretching them out just by a minute or two, just a little bit longer. And I don't know how, if that helped it or if that hurt it. What do you think?
Um, well, it certainly didn't help it. I mean, it didn't it didn't
Did
push you
chart.
over the edge here.
Right.
Um, when I looked at Nature of the Beach, I was Beast. I was like 11 songs, 37 minutes.
Good
That is
time.
right on target, baby.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, this stretched out a little too much. Like I said, lyrically, I think it's a better record,
Right.
and I did love their version of "Tell Me Why."
For me, I think the riffs and the music portion is better on Nature of the Beast than on Power Play. Lyrically, I think you're onto something. I think they're better songs crafted that way for lyrics. But I didn't. They didn't pull me in. This album didn't pull me in like Nature of the Beast did.
No, kind of the same, and I think it's maybe production wise, lyrically,
Hmm.
you know, they've matured a little bit as songwriters. It's maybe a better album overall,
Hmm.
but it doesn't rock the way Nature of the Beast.
Right. Yeah. And like you, Nature of the Beast was my first um, time buying anything from them, and I don't
Same.
I don't remember if they played on a festival or something, Cal Jam 2 or one of those type things that I heard some of their music. Because why out of the blue would I buy that other than if it was just on the radio? Um, they
I
weren't
think
like,
I ran out and bought it just based on Sign of the Gypsy Queen or whatever the single was, maybe All Over Town.
yeah,
But I was like, oh, it's probably Sign of the Gypsy Queen. I just
yeah, I was
ran out
on
and bought the record.
okay,
Great looking album cover art.
right, right. And Miles Goodwin passed away in 2023. He was the mainstay of the band, the main songwriter, vocalist, guitarist.
And I think was mostly doing it right up to the end of his life.
Yeah,
Like
right.
up to 2020, I think they were still kind of touring and
Yeah.
doing stuff.
And I don't know what it is with bands like you know, other than you mentioned Rush and you mentioned Triumph, the rock bands had a hard time breaking out of Canada. Or maybe I should say a hard time breaking in to the United States because these guys were popular in Europe, but they just
I could
never,
see that.
yeah, they just never really got over the hump here. Maybe they
Yeah,
just,
I don't have any of the earlier stuff. I mean, I've got these two records,
hmm
and I think typically from what I've seen off these two, I mean, the strongest tracks are the singles,
yeah, oh, for sure,
right?
for sure,
And that's probably, I think, maybe true from some of the earlier stuff, right?
yeah.
But
I don't,
overall, over the course of an album, there may be hit and miss.
yeah. Well, for me, and I'll just jump right out there and say, for me, Nature of the Beast is more of a level listen because they are, again, they are a band that could do ballads and they do the softer music, but when they rock, they rock. I love the riffs, you know that.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm going with Nature of the Beast on this throwdown here. What do you think?
Uh, it's the sentimental favorite for me. I think I'm going to go that way too.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll be pulling some songs off Power Play to throw
Right.
on the song list
There you go.
on the playlist there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's give it to Nature of the Beast and
Yeah.
call it a day. And if you haven't listened to April Wine, I suggest you go out. And these are the two albums to start with. What was the one right before it that had
Louder, Faster.
loud? Yeah, some,
Is that
louder,
it?
harder, faster, louder, faster.
Harder, Faster.
That's also these were the three records that put them on the map in the new coming of rock music in the 80s.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate that they weren't able to kind of make that jump
Right.
after Nature of the Beast.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Harder, Faster
Yeah.
was the one before that.
There you go. Well, check those three records out if you're not familiar with April Wine, and I think those are good places to really get your sink your teeth into them and find out what they were all about. That was the gist of what they were as a rock band.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth it. Like if you have a streaming service, just go back and look at the songs that are most streamed,
Mm-hmm.
plug into that.
And you might be
I Like to
surprised.
Rock is a great song.
Yeah,
Absolutely great song.
right. And I think that may have been my first song of theirs.
Great riff.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, but check them out. I think they're a band that do not get enough recognition. When you talk about the great bands of the '80s, you don't hear a lot of people bring up April Wine.
Nope.
So, and I think they need a little bit more love.
Yeah, I think the singles are definitely worth the price of admission.
I agree.
Right. Just between you and me, like I said, I think one of the best ballads of
Yeah,
not just the 80s. I think it's just one of the best
yeah,
ballads, period.
I agree. And I think that's been covered a few times since as well.
I wouldn't know that per se, but I can understand why somebody would want to cover it.
I think so. Yeah. So, all right. What about the listeners? What Nature of the Beast, Power Play? What do you feel? Where are you at with this in April Wine? Do you have a preference? Let us know.
Throw in your 2 cents.
2 cents. How hard can that be? Penny's gone. They're not making any more.
Thanks.
So might as well throw them out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Jim. Till next time.
All right, we'll see you next Thursday.